Hey everybody, it's George from DinosaurGeorge.com answering the questions I get from all around the world. Let's dive into it. Charlie from Shropshire, England says, hey DG, how are you? I'm doing great, Charlie. How are you doing, man? My question for you is, what habitat would Spinosaurus live in? Thanks for answering my question. Charlie, it's my pleasure to answer your question. I'm glad yours got chosen. Spinosaurus, I don't know enough about the environment that he lived in because I've not had a chance to study what sort of plant material had been found in and around the skeleton of Spinosaurus. So I don't really know what he lived in, but all the evidence that I've read suggests that this is a plant eater. This is a fish-eating dinosaur. And if indeed he was a fish-eating dinosaur, a pescivore, then he probably lived in the lowland flood areas where there was access to a lot of streams and rivers and lakes. And I guess he lived in that area. And that would suggest probably a lot of lush green plants. Now, I do not believe he would have been very efficient living in a forested or a densely forested area because getting through it would be difficult because he's just so big. Imagine trying to drive an 18-wheeler through a forest. Man, it would be tough to be able to do because getting in and out of stuff would be difficult. So this guy, I don't think, lived in those kind of areas. Now, if indeed Spinosaurus was an ambush predator who hunted other dinosaurs, then he at least would have needed to live somewhere close to some heavy forested areas so that it could at least hide its massive body. But that's a question I just don't know the answer to, Charlie. I'm sorry, I wish I did. All right, my buddy Zack from Uniontown, Pennsylvania says, first of all, how have you been, DG? I'm doing great. I've been doing well, Zack, traveling a lot, getting a little worn out for being on the road so much. My questions are about Majungatholus / Majungasaurus. The reason why Zack says that is because the dinosaur named Majungatholus, its name has now been changed to Majungasaurus. Could they swim? Because of the tiny arms, I do find it hard for them to swim. I agree completely with you, Zack. Those tiny arms were useless in helping that dinosaur swim. Now, I do believe that they could swim. I think all dinosaurs could swim if they needed to. I don't believe any dinosaur was a very good swimmer. You look at their skeletal designs, there's just no way these dinosaurs were made for swimming. But keep in mind that animals that we look at today that we don't think can swim are very good swimmers. A cow is a perfect example, or even more so, a deer. You look at a deer and you look at those tiny thin legs and you think, how could this animal possibly swim? Yet deer are incredibly good swimmers. I think Majungatholus / Majungasaurus probably could swim. I just don't think he would be very good at it. I think he would kind of sort of do the doggy paddle, but with his back legs in front instead of his front. I think he kind of put his legs behind him and kind of kicked and pushed himself through the water. His last question is, how do you think they got that deformed skull? Your friend, Zack. P.S. Keep safe, my friend. Thank you, Zack. That's very kind of you. I hope you and your family are safe as well. And please make sure to tell your family I said hello in case I forgot to tell you that at the opening. I don't know if the skull is necessarily deformed as much as it is just weird looking. You look at a modern warthog, they've got a weird looking skull. And to another warthog, that's beauty, baby. That's attractiveness. So I think Majungatholus had that odd skull because it was attractive to other members of its family. It's just weird looking to you and I, and he is weird. All right, Charles from London, England. Wow, another one from England. Hey George, it's me again. I've been doing some more research and my attention has been drawn to Dilophosaurus, or as us Jurassic Park fans like to call it, the spitter. Boy, it's a spitter. That's really cool. Due to the environment and the era that Dilophosaurus lived in, would you agree with me that it would more likely have lived in packs or been a social animal rather than a solitary predator? P.S. Hope you're doing well. Well, Charles, thank you. I hope you and your family are doing well as well. You look at Dilophosaurus, the spitter, and he's not a very stout dinosaur. It's not built very strongly. And that would suggest then that it probably was more successful hunting in a group. So my best guess would be, yeah, they probably did live in a group and they probably hunted together in a group. But unfortunately, it's such a rare dinosaur that they've never discovered multiple skeletons together that I'm aware of. And that's one of the easiest ways to tell that they lived together is if they died together, that means they were probably together when they died. And that's really the only way we can tell. Dinosaur footprints, they find Dilophosaurus tracks out in Utah, but you can't really tell necessarily if those dinosaurs are walking at the same time or if they've passed the same direction hours apart or even days apart. So it's a very difficult question to answer, but by looking at what we do have to look at, and that is the skeletal design, my best guess would be these dinosaurs were probably social, and they probably did hunt together cooperatively to allow them to bring down bigger prey. They had the ability to hunt independently if they were hunting small stuff. All right, my buddy Ray from Corpus Christi, Texas says, who would win in a fight between Spinosaurus or an Entelodon? Ray, first of all, I hope you guys enjoyed the concert you went to when I saw you and your family. I think you guys are going to see Iron Maiden. If you got a chance to see them, I hope you enjoyed the show. All right, these two animals are completely and absolutely separated by time. Spinosaurus being a predatory dinosaur and Entelodon being a pig-like predator, pretty nasty guy. Even though Entelodons were more advanced brain-wise, I don't think they could have competed with Spinosaurus because Spinosaurus is quite a bit bigger and would have been a much more dangerous animal in my opinion. Now I'm sure some people will disagree and they may be right. It's very difficult to judge these kind of animal competitions because they are so different and there's so many variables that could occur. All right, James from Langtoft, England. Wow, another one from England. Man, you guys from England are coming on strong. You're really hitting the boards and we're getting a lot of emails from you. So thanks, England. I think that's cool. He says, hi there, Mr. Blessing. Hi, James. James, feel free to call me George or Dinosaur George or DG. I really appreciate your courtesy, and that's very courteous of you to call me that, but please feel free to call me DG. I find that just as fine. I have recently watched your videos, and you got me liking dinosaurs again, and I'm thankful. Well, I'm glad to hear that. James, that's great. He says, I have a few questions. You're a very popular person, and do you ever get recognized when randomly walking around? I do, James, and it's flattering. Especially when I'm here in San Antonio, because this is where I live and this is where I make most of my appearances. I do get recognized, and it's very flattering. But I'll tell you the truth, James. I'm actually a very private person, and I know that people find that hard to believe because, you know, I do these videos and I do a lot of public stuff, but it's kind of, I'm two different people. What you see on videos and on television and in person and live when you see me perform is a little different than who I am privately. Privately, I'm pretty private, and even though it's flattering to be recognized, I don't like it that much. I don't like the popularity that comes with it. Most people are incredibly courteous, so yeah, I do get recognized. Sometimes it's uncomfortable if I'm eating dinner and somebody recognizes me. Once in a while, people just sit down and start talking to me while I'm trying to eat. That gets a little odd, but other than that, it's actually very flattering. He says also another question. Since you know the kind of living style of most dinosaurs, what type of dinosaur would George W. Bush be? Thank you for your time, and I hope you reply. Keep making those videos. Well, James, I am happy to reply. This is certainly a very different question. All right, George W. Bush, what kind of dinosaur would he be if he were a dinosaur? I would have to say that I would classify him as a raptor. Stealthy, pretty fast, a little sneaky, very dangerous. I guess we would classify him as being a raptor. That's the best thing I could think of at this particular point in time, as he would be a raptor. All right, listen, you guys, that's it for this time. We're one step closer to my 100th episode when I promise to do something a little special for you. So stay posted. Keep watching the videos. Send us your questions. Remember, for those of you that send your questions over and over and they never get answered, I'm really sorry. Really, I am. But the people that go through these questions and choose them simply have thousands to go through, and it is very tough to always pick your question if you keep sending it. My best suggestion is, man, just keep sending it over and over and over again, and hopefully we'll get it answered. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of the people around you. For you young people out there, make sure to practice your reading skills because it's very important to be a good reader. And for everybody out there, always use good manners. That's probably one of the most important things you can do. I'll see you all soon. Take care.